Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of The Pig, the Snake, and the Pigeon, a Taiwanese drama action thriller hybrid from 2023 that was directed by Wong Ching-po, the same man who gave us Revenge a Love Story and Once Upon a Time in Shanghai, two very different yet very memorable films. So yeah, this director's good. Let's see what he can bring to us here. Now, our main character in this film is a notorious hitman named Chen, who infiltrates a funeral at the beginning of the movie and shoots down a high-ranking gang boss. A police detective is surveying the funeral, spots the hitman fleeing the scene, and after a violent pursuit, Chen manages to escape unharmed, but the policeman is forever impacted. 4 years later, the film cuts to, and we revisit Chen here, who learns that he has stage 4 lung cancer. And motivated by his impending death, he decides to turn himself into authorities at a nearby police station. All right, but before he can do that, he notices that he's only ranked 3rd on the country's most wanted list. Determined to accomplish something significant, he decides to eliminate the 2 major criminals during the final stage of his life. It's a pretty interesting kind of setup. Now, our protagonist is not especially likable. All right, he's not like a really likable guy. Yes, hitman in general are really cool characters in a lot of movies out there. I mean, just remember my review for The Child. I mean, the hitman in that movie was freaking amazing. The guy in this movie isn't like the guy from The Child. The guy here, he's not as likable, you know what I mean? He's kind of a grungy dude. This guy seems like more of like a vicious killer with an unpleasant personality. But again, he's down and out, mourning the death of a family member, and he's coming to terms with the fact that he's going to die soon. Kind of a shell of his former self from the opening scene, and his health is quickly deteriorating. So it does make you feel kind of sympathetic towards him to a degree, although perhaps not completely. The other element that helps to elicit a sympathetic response is that his 2 targets that he wants to kill are even bigger, creepier nutcases than he is, which becomes obvious with their interactions with other people as they show up. So I think the story in this is good enough. It does shift focus at certain points. Like the setting and dramatic content changes significantly near the middle of the film, which does help to mix things up. And this is because our main character's second target for assassination lives a very different kind of life at a very different location when compared to his first target, which requires him to take kind of a different approach to achieve his goal. And the ending, in my opinion, is like, it goes for a slightly more melodramatic vibe, which is fine, but I didn't find it to be especially effective. So just that's something to keep in mind here. Now, despite what some websites claim, this movie is not a black comedy. Maybe you could maybe read some humor into a few specific scenes, but there's not enough to earn a genre classification. And sometimes when you see like the poster art for movies like this, like the poster art for this film, the main hitman is like smiling like in a crazy manner, and you're like, oh man, this is going to be a balls to the wall, action thriller comedy hybrid, but it really isn't. It really isn't. In terms of action and thrills, though, there are basically only a few notable set pieces. You get the opening foot chase and fight is pretty legit. Our main character is being chased by the detective, and the detective stays on his tail pretty well. It's mostly realistic, sufficiently lengthy and satisfying. The fighting's pretty violent. It's a rough and tumble, hard-hitting scene. The film starts off well. But then there's big gaps between those types of set pieces. There's another set piece a little bit later, which is similar to that. And then we get the final set piece, which is very different. It's not even really an action or thriller set piece, but it's pretty freaking crazy. So you'll know when that happens. So you have to keep in mind that the runtime in this is like 2 hours and 13 minutes, and you only get a few genre set pieces mixed in. So yeah, there are some big gaps between those exciting moments. Fortunately, the plot is good enough, and there are moments of slow burn suspense at times as well. Just don't go into this expecting like a fast-paced thrill ride, all right? But all in all, I quite enjoyed The Pig, the Snake, and the Pigeon. I would recommend it specifically to people who like gritty movies with some violence mixed in. It does get a little violent at times. But it's currently available streaming on Netflix. And is a worthy option. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.